The other group's camera supposedly moved.
The bottom of the toy chest appears to be glowing as if it were blazing hot.
Yeah, definitely warmer at the bottom. I'd like to go see if it's as warm as it looks.
The top of the toy chest appears to be much cooler than the bottom.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't feel particularly warm, but interesting. The top is definitely cooler, so the object itself, so the top of that it does have its cool spots.
The footage of the chest will be marked for special analysis. As the Borden House investigators review their evidence, Michael Goldsworthy has completed his work on the existing evidence of the alleged Gettysburg ghosts. It shows faint white figures moving from left to right, from the ground, then higher up into the trees. It was shot in 2001 by the Underwood family at Triangular Field in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Right there. See?
Uh-huh.
Look.
There's nobody there. I can't see.
To enhance and study the video, Goldsworthy used software called Detective.
And then we just tell the computer to average up to 100 frames, sharpen it a little bit, and you'll see that it straightens out the picture quite well. So we've gone from a very fuzzy, sparkly type picture that doesn't give a lot of detail to this, where now you can make this rock out much better. So then once it's been enhanced, and you can see right here, the image basically moves across.
Could the figures just be other tourists on the field?
Now, I do admit there were people behind us, people just walking around enjoying Gettysburg just like we do, but as far as in front of us, there was nobody there.
This is the field as it looks today. In the direction the Underwoods were shooting, it is relatively flat. Yet the figures in their video seem elevated, well above the ground. For Goldsworthy, the repetition of the figures themselves was a bigger concern.
So you have something in the picture, some object that's moving across the image, and it actually does it several times. So what I did is combine 3 different shots from different times in the video to show what I then began picking up as a repetitive nature.
He doubts this existing evidence is a paranormal apparition caught on tape.
Because of the almost perfect repetition, it's almost as if someone is looping either a video or a projection. As far as creating this, if you were to do this in the field, I would say that you would use a clear piece of Lexan, a clear piece of glass, and reflect an image off of it.
But Tom Underwood stands by its authenticity.
And if I did all of this in front of everybody, I mean, I think I would have drew a lot of attention, and I think they would have came over and tried to figure out what I was doing. It is the real thing.
The Borden House investigation has produced nearly 50 hours of new evidence from 7 cameras. Next, each tape will be examined in real time, watching and listening for any paranormal activity.
We're panning around. There's a whoa, what was that? Can you back that up?
Are there spirits of the dead among us? And does this audio and video evidence prove it? This family says they watched ghosts crossing the Civil War battlefield.
Looked like shadows or something moving actually through the trees and on the field.
This man says something unseen moved his camera in the Lizzie Borden house.
It did it again.
The camera turned at roughly a 45-degree angle.
Of the existing evidence, our investigation showed the Vatican ghost was not a ghost at all, but a jacket or scarf suspended by a long stick. This blue apparition might have been a bug, but Mike Hammond could not be sure. And this expert was skeptical of the Gettysburg ghosts, but could not rule out the paranormal.
It is the real thing. And it's not a hoax or anything.
As for the new evidence, more than 50 hours of video from the Lizzie Borden house have now been analyzed by the Monster Quest investigators. Cameras were locked down in the basement, in Lizzie Borden's room, in the room next door where her stepmother was killed, in the maid's room where the chair moved, and in the room where the camera was once reported to have moved by itself. The hours passed, the tape rolled on, but nothing out of the ordinary seemed to happen. The conventional cameras saw nothing abnormal. But the FLIR camera did pick up unusual activity. It sees heat energy and shifts in temperature, invisible to the naked eye. Yellow represents a higher temperature, while darker colors represent cold.
Here's the toy chest again. And if we can stop right about there.
This is the investigation footage that showed that the bottom of the chest was glowing and hot, but the floor beneath it was cold to the touch. Thermal camera expert Robert Madding analyzed this footage.
We're seeing this little seam at the bottom, which has a brass plate or strip across here, so not quite sure what that is. Could be reflection of heat from people that are standing in the background. Not quite sure what that is.
It remains a mystery. Next up, the maid's room, where there was a report of the moving rocking chair.
Okay, stop it now. Whoa, maybe back up. And why would this be so dark? One might want to take a look at, is there missing insulation here or some other thermal problem, because this wall is so much darker than this one.
It may simply be a construction defect. So while the video evidence was inconclusive, there was a lot more going on with the audio evidence.
We captured a lot of voices. We caught EVP in 4 of the rooms, the basement, Lizzie Borden's room, we caught it in the chimney room, and we also caught voices. I also caught voices in the Morse room. Now coming down the hallway to the chimney room. At one point in the chimney room, I was asking the spirit that we were told resides there if he would talk to us or give us some information, and a voice comes on saying, "Sure."
Is this a message? Is this a message?
Voice recognition expert Tom Owen analyzed the audio evidence.
Let's see what it looks like. Can't make much of that. We're just saying total noise. Let me see what the... Yeah. Pitch is... There's no pitch to it at all.
While this clip is not providing Owen enough data to analyze fully, there's another EVP that is. This one captured in the Lizzie Borden room.
And when we finished our taping session, I mean, we pretty much had signed off, and there's some small talk going on, and a voice comes on the tape. It's very close to the tape recorder, and the voice is saying, "So?"
Jonathan, stay recorded.
Yeah, there's definitely something there, right here. When you whisper, you're not moving your vocal cords, and therefore you're not creating any fundamental frequency. And the first thing you'd want to do is to investigate who was on the site, because it is audible. I mean, I can hear that. You can hear that.
Jonathan, stay recorded.
And the voice seems to be extremely close to the microphone. But the surveillance camera in the room shows no one is close to it.
Anybody that was in the room was at least 3 to 5 feet away from the microphone.
This works on the proposition of the inverse square law, you know, which means it's a fancy way of saying that for every double the distance you move away from the source, you lose 6 dB. So if you're up right against the source and you're whispering, which you would, to be recorded in the first place, you would have to be close. And this sounds like it was close.
The surveillance camera microphone also picked up the voice. But eerily, the voice sounds extremely close to the camera microphone too, even though the camera was 10 feet away from the audio recorder.
You know, it's obviously a sound. I mean, it's audible, and it's you can hear that it's a sound. Whether it's from the other side, I don't know.
It may only be one word, but the investigation could not eliminate the possibility that this was the voice of a ghost.
I'm pretty convinced that 90% of the voices that we caught, I would consider them to be spirit voices or of a spiritual origin.
It may not be proof beyond a shadow of a doubt, but something strange was happening in the Borden house. And is happening in places all over the world every day. And as recording technology improves, and with it the quality of the evidence, definitive proof of the existence of spirits among us may be closer than we think.